As you can see, football back in the 1980s and prior was a very male-only game. Women didn't really feature. Fast forward 40 years into the modern day, and the game is blessed with super world-class talent. On the field we are seeing players with spectacular skill and ability, great champions, and eye-catching beautiful football being played. And we cannot forget the vast number of females off the field in the media, medical, and top executive positions. In my last video I discussed the greatest football manager, and near the end of the video I mentioned female managers, so I felt it would only be right to create a video to look at the greatest female football managers and look into their careers in terms of honours, experience, and contribution to football. This is going to be very interesting. Anyhow, with all that out of the way, who is the best female football manager? Welcome back to Football Central. Hope you're enjoying the channel so far. We still need your help, and these buttons are still waiting to be pressed. Please. Thank you. Patricia Panico is considered a legend in women's football. In a senior playing career that lasted 23 years from 1993 to 2016, Panico scored an eye-watering 647 goals in 656 managers for various Italian clubs including Lazio, AC Milan and Fiorentina. During this time she played 204 times for the Italian national women's team, scoring 110 goals in a trophy-filled career. After retiring, Panico earned her coaching badges and was appointed as the assistant manager of the under-16 Italian men's national team. In 2017, due to her absence of the head coach, Daniele Zerato, Panico became the first female to lead out a men's international team at any level as the manager. In June 2017, Panico obtained her UEFA A coaching license. She was appointed as the head coach of the Italy national men's under-15 team, becoming the first female in the history of football to be appointed as the manager at any level of any men's national team. The Italian under-15 national team has seen players like Alessandro Conti, Moise Kean, Gianluigi Donnarumma and Manuel Locatelli in the past 7 years, and Panico was trusted to manage these next generation of world-class Italian footballers. Another historic step up for Panico came in July 2020, when she was promoted to be the assistant manager of Italy's under-21 national team, the most immediate feeder team to the senior national men's team, and the breeding ground for Italy's World Cup winning players. Panico is a legend of female management, even without coaching the senior team, for the single reason that her appointment as a head coach in the Italian Federation has the potential of being the most important managerial appointment in women's football history. Panico's appointment as the first head coach of the under-15s and then the assistant manager of the under-21 men's national team is a big milestone in women's football, as Carolina Mauriaci's appointment at Viterbese some 21 years ago. I've just mentioned Carolina, so I need to speak about her. Carolina Mauriaci is one of the most important figures in the history of women's football, especially in Italy. In a playing career that lasted 20 years from 1978 to 1998, the Italian striker is believed to have scored around 500 career goals, playing for a number of Italian clubs including Lazio, Reggiana and AC Milan. In that time, Mauriaci represented the Italian national women's team for 19 years, scoring a record 105 goals in 150 matches. After retiring from football as a player, she took up coaching and was a member of the coaching staff at Lazio's women's team in 1998. In June 1999, she received the call that would change women's football forever. The president of the then Serie C men's football team, AC Viterbese, called Mauriaci to manage the team. Mauriaci accepted and became the first female in the history of football to manage a men's football team. This was groundbreaking, as the prejudice against women in men's football was even stronger than they are today. The news gained worldwide recognition, and thanks to her, the first conversation on women being more involved in managing men's football gradually began. Unfortunately, due to the interference of President Gauci, Mauriaci left the job just after 2 matches, winning 1 and losing 1 game each. Maybe the club and the sport weren't ready for an all-powerful female manager, and maybe Mauriaci was just a publicity stunt. But it is wrong to reduce her managerial career just to that. She is a graduated lawyer and the first woman to be inducted into the Italian Football Hall of Fame. After her time in Serie C, Mauriaci has gone on to manage the Italian women's national team, Trinidad and Tobago and Canada. Her last managerial post was at AC Milan Women, and she now works as a presenter for Sky Sports Serie A men's and women. Emma Hayes is an English professional manager and former player who is the current manager of Chelsea women's football team. She is the most successful manager in the English Women's Super League. As a player, she was a prospect and began at the Arsenal Academy. but unfortunately she suffered a career-ending ankle injury while she was on a school trip when she was only 17. Emma took up various coaching roles in the USA between 2001 and 2010, but she rejoined Arsenal between 2006 and 2008 as the assistant coach to the first team and became the Ladies Academy Director. Emma claimed that working under Vic Akers was amazing, that she learnt a lot about standards and how to operate within a big club. Hayes was appointed by Chelsea Ladies in 2012, taking them to the top of the women's game in England, creating a winning machine much like Arsenal were in the early 2000s. She has won 11 trophies, which includes 5 WSL titles, 2 FA Cups, 2 League Cups, the FA WSL Spring Series, and the FA Community Shield. The secret to her success is a good bit of tough love. According to her players, she is very honest, straight to the point, and has no issue with telling her players when they are doing well and when things aren't going too good. This is proving to be very successful when you look at her trophy record. Pia Marianne Sundhage is a Swedish football manager and a former professional football player. She is the head coach of the Brazil women's national football team. As a player, Sundhage had a very successful career. She played for Sweden from the age of 15, eventually managing 146 caps and scoring 71 goals, making her Sweden's record goal scorer. Pia began coaching as a player manager when she was with Hammarby from 1992 to 1994. She then took assistance jobs with Vallentuna and AIK Football Dam before moving to the States to manage various teams. Sundhage was appointed as the head coach of the United States women's national team from 2008 to 2012 and led them to 2 Olympic gold medals and runner-up at the World Cup. Her success led her to winning the 2012 FIFA World Coach of the Year. In July 2019, Sundhage accepted an invitation from the Brazil National Football Confederation to become the new coach of the Brazilian women's national football team and led them to a Copa America Femenina in 2022. Her coaching style is similarly low-key, known for positive reinforcement, constructive criticism, and her upbeat, calm demeanour. Sundhage is the polar opposite to your sideline charging, red-faced coach shouting at her players. Her potent mix of high ethics, team-building prowess, and a calm, fun approach to the game may be just as crucial to her team successes as her goalkeeper or top goal scorer. It might not work for every team, but it's hard to argue with Sundhage's successes. When Hope Powell was appointed as manager of the England national women's team in 1998, she became the first black manager of an English national team in any sport, let alone football. What? And also the first female manager of an English national team of either sex. She is also the first female to ever obtain the UEFA Pro license, the highest qualification available to a top coach in Europe. As a player, Powell won 66 England caps, scoring 35 goals. She made her England debut at the age of 16, went on to become the vice-captain, and her international career included taking part in England's first appearance in the World Cup finals in 1995 when they reached the quarter-finals. At club level, she played for Millwall Lionesses, Fulham and Croydon, winning the Women's FA Cup 3 times and doing the League and Cup double with Croydon in 1996. Powell became the first ever full-time England women's coach and spent 15 years as coach from 1998 to 2013. Her achievements included leading England to the 2001 European Championships, the quarter-final of the 2005 European Championship and the 2007 World Cup finals, and the final of the 2009 European Championship and the quarter-finals of the 2011 World Cup. She also managed Great Britain's women's teams in the 2012 Olympic Games and managed Brighton and Hove Albion from 2017 to 2022. As well as managing the England senior team, Powell oversaw the whole structure from under-15s to the under-23s, a coaching mentoring scheme, and the FA's National Player Development Centre at Loughborough University. In May 2009, Powell's administration implemented central contracts to help players focus on full-time training and playing without having to fit around full-time employment. Initially, 17 players signed contracts. Powell was appointed OB in the 2002 birthday honours for her services to association football and was promoted to CB in 2010 for her services to sport. She was also inducted into the English Hall of Fame in recognition for her talents. Serena will be forever remembered in English football history, after becoming the first coach to lead the Lionesses to a major title when England won the UEFA Euros in 2022 on home soil. Not only was it historic for the Lionesses, but also for Wiegman, as she became the first coach to win back-to-back tournaments, having led her native Netherlands to the Euro 2017 title 5 years earlier. Widely regarded as one of the best international coaches in the women's game, Serena began her role as England head coach in September 2021. She successfully led her home nation to the Euros victory as a host nation in 2017 and was named Best FIFA Women's Coach of the Year in the same year, before guiding them to the final of the FIFA Women's World Cup in 2019. In her playing days as a midfielder, Wiegman gained 104 caps for her country, becoming the first female player to reach 100 appearances, and she captained the national team during her impressive career. She started coaching girls' grassroots teams in her local region of The Hague, then began her coaching career with her former club, Ter Leader. She led them to win the KNVB Cup in 2017 before her first move into full-time coaching came in 2007 at ADO Den Haag in a newly formed women's Eredivisie. She became the third Dutch female to earn the UEFA Pro license in 2016, and then, later that same year, she was the first woman to coach with a men's professional club in her homeland, following a season-long spell as an assistant with Sparta Rotterdam. This didn't go unnoticed by the KNVB. She was snapped up to be the assistant coach of the team in 2014, working under Roger Reiners and then Arjen van der Laan. In 2015, the Dutch reached the quarterfinal of the Women's World Cup in Canada, and Wiegman was starting to see the potential within her ranks. After 2 spells as caretaker coach following the departures of Reiners and van der Laan, she was finally granted the head coach role on a permanent basis in January 2017. The start of an extraordinary year, which would see her profile catapult into another dimension, both home and abroad. The next few ladies are nothing short of immense in the football world. Their achievements will help to further break down barriers and remove stereotypes that are surrounding women in football. Imke Wubbenhorst is one of the most prominent figures in the women's football. As a player, she started her career at amateur club SV Wallenhausen and played in the boys' team until she was 16, as there were no separate women's teams. In a fairly bright playing career, Imke featured for women's teams of clubs like Hamburger SV and Sporting Welliver, and won the Women's European Under-19s Championships with the German national team in 2006 and 2007. However, it is her career as a manager which has caught the eye of the public. Imke played as a player assistant coach at the women's team of German club VV Kloppenburg from 2016 to 2018. In December 2018, Imke made headlines after she became the manager of the men's team of VV Kloppenburg, which played in the 5th division of German club football. In March 2019, Imke stepped down as manager as Kloppenburg finished last in the league and were relegated to the 6th division. She studied sport biology and education so she could become a competent coach. She took up a role in the backroom coaching staff of RB Leipzig before taking up the role of manager at 4th division men's club VfL Sportfreund Lotte, where she is now currently the manager. Imke's sense of humour got her into the tabloids in 2019 when she jokingly mentioned how she picks the team on the size of the penis in response to one of the many ridiculous questions that women managers of male teams gets asked. It is only the start of her career in management, but watch this space. Selma Al-Majidi is the first Arab and Sudanese woman to coach in the men's football team in the Arab world. After working with her brother's coach, Al-Majidi began coaching the under-13s and the under-16 teams of Al Hilal Club in Umdurman. She also coached Sudanese second division men's clubs including Al Nazir, Al Nadar, Nal Halfa and Al Marouda. Born to a traditional Muslim Sudanese family in 1990, Al-Majidi grew up in a Middle Eastern society where the outlook towards women engaging in football had been historically conservative. In an interview retrieved from FIFA's official website, Al-Majidi revealed how she developed an interest in the sport at the age of 11 when she saw her brother's team being coached. She mentioned that her family has been her biggest supporter in her journey to become a recognised coach, but noted how those around them didn't share the same liberal beliefs. She stated that society didn't look favourably on what she was doing because of the belief that only men should coach men's teams. She lives in an Eastern society and the people in Sudan have habits and customs that put a block on women in all walks of life, football among them. Al-Majidi has been acknowledged by FIFA as the first Arab and Sudanese woman to coach a men's football team. In December 2015, she was noted in BBC's Arabic's 100 Inspirational Women of the Year. This next lady is a true trailblazer and an iconic female manager. I bet my house, my car, my iPhone and my iWatch that none of you have heard of her. She is the first woman to manage a top-flight European men's football team.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes, I said it. A female top-flight football manager of a men's team. Helen Lorraine Nkwocha is an English football manager and former football player who's currently the manager of Faroe Island Premier League club Tryroyda Bodfelag, and from now I'm going to refer to them as TB. Helen is of Nigerian descent and was born and raised in South London. She managed to live her childhood dream to become a police officer. She graduated from the University of North London and went on to spend 15 years in the Met. Helen also played for a number of clubs including Millwall Lionesses, Wimbledon, Crystal Palace, Fulham and Tooting and Mitcham, but an anterior cruciate ligament injury forced her to retire from football in her early 30s. Nkwocha wasn't done with football and had dreams and ambitions to become a professional football manager. She sold her home and decided to live on a houseboat as this was the best way for her to save money for the courses that she needed to complete to be able to coach. Right now she holds a UEFA A licence. She joined TB initially to run the youth team in January 2021, but was promoted to head coach of the senior team in September of that year. Prior to Helen, Lars Heiliger was in charge of the team from May 2021 to September 21, and only managed to obtain 3 points all season. He was duly dismissed, and Helen took charge for the last 6 games of that season. The team was already mathematically relegated at the time. Nkwocha has since won promotion and taken the team back to the top division, with the new season about to start in March 2023. Good luck for the new season, Helen, and well done to you. After researching and finding all these amazing women, it would be remiss of me to start crowning the best female manager. For me, there is no best or no worst. Women's professional competitions and football clubs have been established at an increased pace in countries all over the world, especially in the past 2 decades. In some cases, women's competitions such as the WSL and UEFA Women's Champions League and the FIFA World Cup can boast a viewership that is more than what some top-flight men's matches can achieve. FIFA and France Magazine now award the same high-profile individual and team awards to females as they do to males, and for the first time sponsors have jumped to the opportunity to make themselves associated with the fast-rising sport. Despite these promising statistics, we are very much in the initial stages of seeing women being fully involved in the sport, especially in the men's edition when it comes to managing teams. It won't be too long till we see top-flight European clubs being managed by a woman, but till then, we have a lot of barriers to break down to make football the inclusive and accepting sport it claims to be. Sexist remarks against female figures in the game from pundits and even ex-FIFA presidents highlight the attitude that key figures of authority in football hold towards women, which in itself is nothing but a reflection of what the community feels about women involved in football in general. Take a look at the following tweets. Women deserve more respect. So we are at the end of the video now, a very interesting one with some great stories. I hope you've enjoyed it and I hope you've learned a lot about some of these great managers. It would be interesting to know if there are any managers that I have missed. And what about those females that are breaking through in the areas off the pitch? I'd definitely be interested. Also, let me know what other stories or topics that you would like me to discuss. Get in touch and let me know in the comments. On the way out, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
I will love it.
With all that being said, it's time to say goodbye now. Stay safe and see you next time on Football Central.